Hello, Issa.
Hi.
Hi. So excited to be with you today, and what a blessing and gift. And um, I also was really appreciating our conversations and your wisdoms, and I love these conversations we're having.
Yeah,
For,
me too.
yeah, it's good medicine. So
It
thank
is.
you. Thank
Yeah, thank you.
you. So, I wanted to begin with a poem. We're on the moon in the order of things. So I'm super excited, but
Yeah.
and this is from a Ghanaian prayer, and I just love this. It says, "When the sun has disappeared, I have switched off the light, and my wife and children are asleep. The animals in the forest are full of fear, and so are the people on their mats. They prefer the day with your sun to the night. But I still know that your moon is there, and your eyes, and also your hands. Thus, I am not afraid. This day again, you led us wonderfully. Everybody went to their mat, satisfied and full. Renew us during our sleep, that in the morning we may come afresh to our daily work. Be with our siblings far away in Asia who may be getting up now.
Mhm.
May be getting up now. That's a Ghanaian prayer. And that came from Earth Prayers from Around the World. I really love this book. And it's edited by Elizabeth Roberts and Elias Amadon. So yeah, let's talk moon. Let's talk moon. I'm talking about the moon. Yeah, I wanted to ask and explore. I just want to explore a little bit um, your connection with the moon and how you connect with the moon and what your relationship is like with the moon. So, any thoughts that you want to share? And
Um, I have a really good relationship with the moon.
mm,
There was a time where all summer I sat outside with her, spoke to her, cried with her, manifest with her,
mm,
recharged. Um, and I learned a lot from the messages, she was
mm,
showing me or that she gave. Um, and the big, the like big bold letter is like renewal,
yeah. Oh,
renewal.
yeah, renewal. I love that.
Um, because she goes through her phases.
Mhm.
And so do us women.
Yeah.
We go through the phases. And now that I'm like speaking about it out loud, um, it's calling me to do something with the younger girls that are maturing into, you know, the woman
Mhm.
life. That that I don't know, there should be a teaching with the moon phases and how she goes through her cycle and she's renewed
Yeah.
monthly.
Yeah. That's really powerful. And
Yeah,
um, it's so interesting because, that is one of the seven sacred rites that we haven't, we need to
yeah,
be attending. And I think that's an important conversation, Issa,
right,
about women and the moon. I mean, the moon is connected to us as women, and of course to all human beings, and to the water in our bodies.
right.
what, 80% water or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And the moon is in charge of the waters of the world and the tides, and so, and I just remember the first time that I knew that, when I learned that, I was just like, oh, just like, wow, like that is so mind blowing. Like, oh my
Right?
gosh, like the moon is controlling the ocean, like
Yeah.
all of the waters, So whenever I see the tide out, when I'm, because I live here in the Northwest now, and so, and I've lived here for a long time, like over 20 years now, and I just watch those tides go out, and it's just, oh, and I know the moon is responsible
Yeah.
for that. And
Isn't that amazing how
mhm,
she has so much control
yeah,
over where, on Earth's side,
yeah.
and how she works with Earth's side, I guess, like the waves, and I'm sure the animals, and of course us people, you
Hmm.
know, when it's full moon, we like to get crazy or
It's
whatever it is.
totally, totally. Yeah, and there's the cycles throughout the day too. Like,
Yeah,
not only are there cycles that are seasons, or cycles that are, our own cycles and women's cycles, and you know, um, it's so interesting because, um, my mom is always like, has always talked about the moon lodge,
mhm.
how, we would have a moon lodge for that time of month.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Mhm. And that we would go to the moon lodge when we were on our cycle, and vision and rest and be fed, you know? And so whenever one of the women in our community begins her cycle, it's seen as a celebration and as something really powerful, and we celebrate that, and her coming into her womanhood, and sometimes, they don't even have to feed themselves. They get fed by their family and friends, and, brought gifts, and then and the elders will all come and share about just some of their wisdom and experience,
Right.
and we'll have special ceremonies. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I think, yeah, there's something about the celebration of that.
Hmm. Because it's such like a negative stereotype,
Mhm.
and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
beautiful thing. And we don't celebrate that.
yeah. I think there's something about the veil. I remember learning that there's something about the veil between the unconscious and the conscious being thinner during that time. So we would share our visions and dreams because they would be helpful
Yeah.
to everyone in the community. So during that time, it's a time of power,
Right.
um, and so a sacred time, a medicine time.
Yeah.
Um, so I remember just singing, and I'd put like a bowl with, Palo Santo or sage or something on my belly, and, pray and sing, and, extend my gratitude for my
Right.
body,
Yeah.
born children,
Yeah.
you know,
Like a woman's body is so amazing.
right?
It's like
It's astonishing. Hmm.
it like it makes me speechless of what it goes through, and monthly, or
Yeah.
even carrying birth, or carrying a baby for 9 months. Your body goes through so much, and delivery, or even a C-section, those are like, that's the only surgery that goes through so many layers,
Mm.
and you're expected to walk that same day.
Yeah, like, oh, now you're supposed, yeah, you do this thing.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's so wild. It's I remember the first time that I was in a birth, and I go to a lot of births because, of my work and because of my practice, um and just remembering that first birth that I was in, I don't know, I was like 20 something, and just the complete astonishment of like, wow, all of us,
Yeah.
all of us, every one of us, right? Came into the world that way. And
Right.
um, yeah, and just showing up, and the recognition of that power of life, and that power to bring life into the world, and that power lives in
Hmm.
the women of this species is
Yeah,
so incredible. And
it is.
yeah, so I just think it's interesting to think about moon time. And um yeah, and I would wonder, like, what have you learned about the moon? What have you learned about women and the moon in your own world, in your own life, that you could share with everyone?
Um, what did I learn? There's I don't know if I was like taught the right way, because you're never really taught cycles just because of the negativity, or like your monthly cycle. Um, so I just went with what felt right. And then
Mm,
throughout time, it was like, oh, don't do this, or do this, or whatever it is. And um what comes what was the biggest teaching was being gentle with
mm,
yourself during that time. Um and then I mirror off of the moon and how gentle she is during, her phases, her cycle.
mm,
And even sometimes, like, she will hide behind clouds, and us women hide, from
it's true.
time to time.
It's true. It's true. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like our things are all inside. Men's things are all outside, so we can like tuck things away and be
Mhm.
mysterious and hide things. And,
Yeah.
not that men don't do that, because men and non-binary people do that too. It's, male, female, or non-binary. We all have those things, but that we have that, like, kind of that hidden,
Mhm.
those hidden mysterious things, about us. So that's just so interesting. And um, I have this story. This is one of the stories from my mom. And I'm going to actually probably just look at this a little bit. But this is, she says that the spirit of fertility is Hanpetu, and became the beautiful life of the son of We. And he had given her a soft light. So she became the luminous moon, a shining reflection of the sun. Her name changed to Hanhepiwi, meaning the night's burning sun. At each sunrise, We paints a red line on his wife's head, indicating that it is good, that she is good. He puts a string of shells around her neck. In Hanpetu's place, Mapiato mixed green into yellow and then into red colors, creating Anpo, who broke apart and died after creeping up into the eastern sky. Maka mourned for Anpo. Mapiato searched for Anpo, and he gazed all over his blue dome. He found her in the twilight. He brought her back, giving her the task of waking up the sun at dawn and the moon at twilight. To this day, Anpo follows the path around and around the universe, creating the fourth sacred circle, creating the fourth sacred circle. And so I love that Hampetu was originally the god goddess of fertility, right? And then becomes Hanhepiwi,
Mhm.
the the moon.
Yeah.
And so that's so interesting because that's really what we're talking about is we need that fertility right now. I don't know, I probably watched a little too much Democracy Now. I was like watching it. I was like, oh no, oh no, I think I've gone over the edge, um, but it's just like, oh, we need fertility. We
Yeah.
need nurturing. We need nourishment. We need fertility. We need woman. We need earth. We need, right relationship between men, women, and non-binary people. We need what is sacred, but we need that fertility. We need things to grow and
Right.
flourish. The earth needs that. I think the earth is just very, very pissed off.
Yeah.
I don't know about your thoughts, but I'd like to know them. She's doing some stuff.
Yeah, she is. And
Yeah,
going through a lot of change too. A
yeah, her
lot of
cycle.
change. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how, obviously we need to nurture. And you're right, like things need to grow. We to get more abundance from whatever it is that we're lacking.
Mm-hmm. It's also interesting because the sun and the moon reflecting each other. And I was just thinking about how we can, you know, that we could begin to reflect to one another what we're
Right.
seeing, you
Right.
know, like the sun and the moon do that for each other.
Yeah. They mirror each other and they reflect and why can't we have like healthy partnerships like that?
Right? Right? We can and we are
We
and we
can.
will.
Yes, we can. And it will happen. And it's happening right in front of us and we don't even realize it. We see the sun every day, majority of every day.
Right.
We see
That's
the
true.
moon. We
Mhm.
see the moon every day. And it's like, we need to dig deeper and have that connection with all things, like, with all the order of what we're
Mm,
learning right now, what we're going through. And I think that it will strengthen our connection within ourselves too. So we're
mhm.
able to see that the moon and the sun reflect off each other.
So neat. Issa, this is also just because the feminine nature is a nature of reflection, intuition, receptivity, magnetism, um, going into deep silence,
Right.
right? So when we think of the moon or we think of the earth, it's right, and the power of life, the power, the spark of life. So, yeah, so I just, wonder about where do you see or how can you see the feminine nature or the sacred nature of the feminine
Mhm.
really being nourished
Right.
and being able to create some positive change?
So I'm learning. I'm learning to dig into my feminine side. Just
Mm,
because I'm a woman doesn't mean that my feminine comes out often.
yeah,
Um,
because we're
because
taught to be guys.
I have to be so independent and I have to figure out how to protect. And
Mhm.
so, it gets me choked up.
Yeah.
So my feminine side, it's not vibrant how I want it to be
Mm,
because I'm in the like dominant male role. And so I'm learning. And I think that, tapping into that feminine is showing
Mm.
yourself self-love and
Yeah.
having the connections with yourself, your
Mm.
prayer, the moon, like how we started out the conversation, like there was a whole summer that I spent with the moon, and I still spend time with the moon. I make sure that I connect with her no matter where. I know that if I walk out my back door, I'm able to see her.
Mm.
And I'm just always like, "Oh, you're so beautiful tonight." Like I always say something.
Oh, Issa, I love that.
And then when she's big and full moon, I'm just like, "Oh." Yeah, it's just like it just puts you in awe that the world is so amazing, and we're just a witness to all these miracles that are happening. And I don't know, it's just amazing.
Yeah, last night the moon was shining in our window and we could just see that like
Yeah.
crescent with,
Yeah.
like, and it's just like but it's what you're saying. I every time I see the moon I'm amazed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
And
amazed. I'm just
and
like, wow, how is that possible?
right? And how come we can't see that within ourselves?
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Because I mean, like, Char, you're amazing, you like,
Mm.
I can't say enough.
No, sister.
And but then it's like, for me to say that to myself, I'm so hard, it's like, come on, you could be better, and it's like, no, just love it.
Right?
Just
Right?
celebrate everything. And
Oh, I love that. You're a celebration.
right.
Totally, like you're a celebration of life, you know?
Yeah.
It's like that text I sent you the other day, just like I think maybe it was yesterday, but it was just saying, "Oh my God, you're so incredible." And
Yeah.
your medicine is needed in the world, and I'm so blessed to be, your family and
Right.
grateful. And so, yeah, just I think, what's coming to my mind is like encouragement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're all kind of like just doing the best we can do.
Right.
I mean, like,
Right.
it'd be nice if we could encourage each other.
Yeah. And so, like, when I see the moon and I make sure I have that connection, I'm just like, I make sure if I'm by myself, I'm like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," like, "Oh, how cute," or whatever. And then if I'm with someone, I'm like, "Did you see the moon?" All right,
Oh
I'll
yeah.
call somebody, "Hey, did you see the moon?"
Oh yeah.
Or like my kids, I call them my monkeys. I'll text my monkeys and I'll be like, "Go outside and take a picture of the moon." It's like, we could totally do that. And she still sits up there and she just takes it all in. And we could take it all in too. We need to share our voices with everybody and be gentle and be nurturing and celebrate life. I want to share a small story. What is today?
Friday.
So yeah, so on Wednesday,
Friday,
it was my
okay.
birthday. Yeah, it was my birthday.
Mm.
And I was like celebrating life.
Woo!
Yeah, and I've
Birthday.
never done that. I've never like celebrated my birthday. And I was sitting like at nighttime and I was reflecting and I was like, man, I never wanted to celebrate my birthday because my age was getting up there. It was getting, it wasn't staying the same.
No. Yeah,
And
that's the thing.
right. And then you don't want everybody to be like, happy birthday, happy birthday. It's like, but That's amazing to hear.
Yeah.
And I felt like a little kid, like I didn't want my birthday to end.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I just wanted to, like, I was up almost till midnight, like, don't turn to midnight.
Oh, it's so fun.
Because
I'm so grateful
it
you
was
did
just
that.
amazing.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I was at work at school, and every time the kids would come by, I'd be like, it's my birthday, and they're like, yes, miss, it's up for the 100th time, and they'll give me another hug, and I'm just like soaking it all up.
Oh, it's so great.
It was like my cup was over, it was just
Oh,
overfilling. It was
yeah.
just overfilling. And it was like, man, why can't it be like this every day? It don't have to be my birthday. It could just, I'm a seller. I woke up today.
Yeah. It's so great. It's so
Yeah.
great today. Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's just we need to celebrate life and make those connections strong.
Yeah.
And we got to encourage each other. We have to empower each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have, it's so interesting, just I mean, I think we have to pray about, like, because the moon is also about the intuitive nature and softening
Yeah,
and so just to pray that people can allow like this some softening and
right.
opening to each other and to other
Yeah,
people. And and the other thing that I think about is just how it's also night when we see the moon. So we're getting ready to, things are they start to,
right.
like, we're going into a time of rest.
Right.
So she feels almost like a guardian of rest
Oh yeah.
to me, like she's just the guardian. And I love the dark. I didn't used to when I was younger, but as an adult, I love to turn off the lights and just sit in the dark. It's just
Oh gosh. I
so.
am like so scared of the
Oh
dark.
my gosh! I like to take walks too, like at night in the dark. It's so fun because the
No.
dark is sister. And then like your owl, you could just ask your
Oh,
owl.
I know. I should have their eyes, right?
Right, totally, right? Like the owl could totally come with you. You guys have a great time. I mean, I have a raven, so who knows how that'll go. That's probably why.
And I'm always, if I see some kind of figure in the dark, I'm like, what was that?
Yeah,
What was that? Did you hear that?
like it's your great 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 grandma. No,
I came
no,
to
I
walk
don't.
with you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think there's just all of these arts that are really important and that come from our moon nature. And I
Yeah,
think we're so in our sun nature that, like you
right.
said, you want to be in that feminine, that uh, magnetizing
Yeah,
nature. You
yeah,
know. So I think I wanted to add. So there's two other things I wanted to just talk about real quick before we go. But um, I wanted to ask, like, if I was in your class, if I was one of your students, I'm one of your students now. Okay,
yeah.
no. What would you teach me about the moon? What would you have to tell me about the moon?
Um, I would, what would I say? Okay, I would say, who knows when the moon shows up?
Mm,
And have you ever seen the moon be the same moon every night?
wow.
Because every day it changes. And so do we.
Oh, we do. Oh my
And
God.
then I would probably have you draw the moon
Oh,
and either draw the moon or take pictures with the moon. Take a selfie with the moon.
oh, nice. I
Yeah.
love it. Selfie with the moon.
And
Oh,
just write a prayer or say a prayer out loud to the moon and connect
Mm.
connect with her, you know,
I'm
tell her
taking
your
notes for my
struggles.
homework.
Okay. Yeah. Or, even like with my kindergartners, we would be drawing, right?
Totally.
Yeah. And so um I love drawing. I mean, I'm not good at it, but your drawing tells so much. And so, and what if there's something you want the moon to hold,
Mm.
if it's something happy, sad, scary,
Mm.
share that with the moon. Because I feel like, I mean, she held and still does hold so much for me.
Mm.
And she still shows up.
Yeah.
So that's what I would make you do. And
Oh, I would just, you're brilliant. You're just so brilliant. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I am so excited to do my homework. My
yes.
moon homework. Yeah, I'm totally going to do it too.
But
I,
isn't it? What if you had a moon journal?
right? Oh my God, that's brilliant.
Oh my
Yay, moon
goodness.
journal more than meets the eye. Yeah.
Yeah.
So exciting. Wow.
If a publisher is listening right now,
Yeah.
please contact me.
Yeah. It's so providing. I think that's a great
It
idea.
is.
Great idea. And then, there's also, I've heard this term moon bathing. Have you heard that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, moon bathing. So I
I
feel
actually did it.
like, huh?
I actually did it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I'm like in a group on Facebook
Oh my
and there's like moon bathing rituals. And so I was like, I'm gonna try this. Cause I'm trying to tap into my feminine side. And I was like, I'm gonna try this and I'm gonna do whatever they say to do or whatever. And so I did. And it
God.
was like I could see I turned off the lights in the bathroom and I like let the moon shine.
Oh,
I mean, like it was bright enough for the light to shine in. And I just did my meditation. I did my manifesting. I like did goals and I had like the oils that they said to use to
mm.
um, help re-energize, rebalance. And yeah, it was so fun. I literally felt like recharged.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
incredible. I love that you've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just people are starting to recognize
Right.
again what's essential.
Right.
Oh my
And
God,
I
that's
even have like the moon on my phone to like so
that
I know. Yeah, so and I have like a moon app.
that's great.
Mm.
That's
Because
great.
they always say to like whatever your sign is to really tap into when the moon's within your sign.
Mhm.
And so that was really interesting to me. And
Oh
so
yeah,
I've
it is.
been doing stuff with that. And I mean, like, it will say, like, journal or manifest, or this is a good time to cut your hair, trim it, or it's not a good time to trim your hair, cut it, or color it, or, it's not a good time to travel and it's a good time to travel. It's so crazy how much
Yeah,
control.
it's true. Because she's either increasing or she's decreasing,
Yeah.
right? So the thing is like when she's increasing, it brings increase, and when she's decreasing, it's decreasing things. And that's the natural, that's how It's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
So that's just so interesting. And of course, planting seeds,
Right, right.
plant seeds on the new moon, so it's just, it's interesting to look at how the growth, how she
Hmm.
supports growth.
And you know what else is coming up? Like when we say new moon, then you usually have ceremony.
Yeah. Hmm.
So it's like,
Yeah.
it's so cool.
So beautiful.
It
Oh,
is.
yay. Is there anything else you want to share before we close our
Um,
day about the moon or
yeah,
anything?
I don't know if this does anything with the moon or not, but um I pulled some cards
Yeah.
and it says to step into empowerment. And we we totally talked about that.
Yeah. It's like,
Empower people, empower yourself. Heal at the root.
mm, yeah.
Um, even the moon is growing, healing,
Mm,
and we can too. And step into overflow of abundance, whatever that looks like for you.
that's
Just soak it all up and overfill your cup.
to overflowing,
Yeah.
spilling over with so much abundance of love and connection and the good things.
Yeah. Yep. Because it starts with ourselves and then it just trickles out. We want to be that wave and that ripple effect of showing others healthy and good energy and positive vibrations and frequencies. And, it starts with us and then we can share with
I'm so
others.
excited.
Ah,
So excited. Yeah, because those vibrations and frequencies, yeah, getting those into the world, like making sure that we can get those frequencies
right.
into the world and help other people to shine, right?
Hmm.
To shine and encourage others to shine,
Right.
you know?
Um,
Mm, so good, Issa.
um, I have one more thing.
Yes,
So
please.
last week when we talked about our rocks,
Mm.
the energy that was like coming forth that I didn't get to share was like, they're so humble,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
they're so humble. So then it was like, we were trying to share, we was trying to show, but they were just like, just, I just want to be back here, and then they were like, okay, go ahead, show me, like that was the whole energy of it all. And now like the moon is just like, she wants to be out there. She wants to be seen. So acknowledge her, see her,
Mm.
feel her, hear her.
So
Yeah. Oh,
and if the moon were going to say something, what would the moon say? Like, what would she say to you if she was going to say something? And I love your homework for my kindergartner self, for all our kindergartner selves.
right.
Right? It was so great. I was like, oh my gosh, I felt so nice. So write a prayer, say a prayer. Your homework
Right.
for us. Yeah. Draw a picture of the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let her hold your worries or your happiness, share with her. She loves to listen.
Thank you so much, Moon.
Yes.
Thank you, Grandmother
She's
Moon.
such a sweet, sweet, sweet individual, sweet spirit.
Mm. Well, thank you so much, Issa. And next week we have the wind, Tate.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we will see you next Friday for our conversation on the wind, and let us know what you discover with your work with the moon, and any questions you might have, and we look forward to hearing from
Yeah.
you.